Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Wordle with Art. Let's get Slate punched into today's Wordle. As I keep saying, that's the best word you want to start with if you're in competition mode. And Slate, as you can see, performed very well today. No, I am not excited because I could easily scuff this up and get it in, well, hopefully no worse than 3. Hopefully no worse than 3. The problem is that it looks great, but there's probably quite a few options that we have to consider here. It certainly won't. Okay, so the T, we can start to position that. It won't go first, obviously. I've never heard of a word starting with TL. Now, guys, also, you'll have to stick with me all the way to the end of this video because we have a few fairly serious things to talk about, as hinted by the title. I'm still actually considering what to do with my thumbnail, so we'll see about that. But if I did make it what I intend to, then, yeah, we have a few things to talk about. On the positive side, I want to thank you guys so much for the kind words you had mentioned. Tyler was thrilled when she saw some of the comments. Made her feel really good. We've put a lot of hours into some of those programs. And by the way, this is after 4 months of programming with me. Isn't that amazing? She's obviously an extremely bright girl and absolutely loves computers and coding. And just you wait, I'd say in about 2 more weeks, we're going to have an even better program. We're currently working on a car racing game. So hopefully she'll be here to proudly display that after we solve the Wordle. All right, so I'm just sort of kind of like delaying a little bit here so that I can get my thoughts prepared. I mean, I would love to get this in 2. I really would. You know, I'm fairly safely ensconced in the top 10, but it's very volatile, and you never know what can happen. All right. Let's see. So I think we. Okay. I think we could be looking. Okay. I think we could. I think we could be looking at perhaps cleat. Cleat looks like a very strong guess. Now, that is just off the... Oh, it's not off the heels of a previous C word because yesterday was mucky. The one we had was charred. All right. Now, it could be cleat, and unfortunately, I think it could also be pleat. But I'm just going to go with cleat first. No, darn it. It's not even cleat. See what I mean, guys? There's no need to jump for joy. Oh, darn it. This is going to be just a disaster. This is going to be a disaster if I get this in 4. All right. Darn it. All right. Well, fortunately, at least now we do have the T locked in, obviously, right? It has to go there. All right. Now, do we have anything else locked in? Now, the E, yes. I think we got the E locked in because... Oh, I see what this is. It's alter. Yeah. All right. I don't feel too bad about that. You know, I'll take the 3. What's my goal? My goal is to get about 3.5, right? I've mentioned that before. Yeah, I've mentioned that before. I want to get a 3.5. Now, actually, guys, I think this might make a pretty good segue to what we need to address, which is, again, fairly serious. I want you guys to take a look right now at my distribution. And I think this is a very familiar distribution that you see among your own statistics, right? Because a lot of you, like me, have played this literally hundreds of times. I'm getting close to 300. And what do you notice? You notice what appears to be a little bit of a kind of like it starts to model a little bit of a normal distribution. It would look a little bit better, you know, if we tilted it so that the bar was vertical. But this is the way Wordle sets it up. And you see the key feature is that it's got one main peak, and for a lot of us, it typically would be at 4. And then it's got 2 peaks on either side of it, and then they drop off fairly precipitously. Now, I do have to be completely honest. I have mentioned this quite a few months ago. The one thing that I admit is 100% suspicious about my distribution is the fact that I have 4 ones. Okay, now here's the deal. I think back around the time when we had some change of time, I was just, pre-recording, and it had reset my statistics, and I was a little upset. So basically, I had a junk account, and I was a little, frankly, I was pretty pissed because I just wanted to retain the current statistics. So it reverted to a new one. And so I basically had two accounts that I was playing with. And on the junk account, I would know, of course, having solved it with you guys, what the answer was. And so I just punched the damn word in. And of course, it's kind of fun from time to time to have the computer declare that you're a genius, which Wordle invariable will do when you get a hole in one. So I have never truly gotten a hole in one. Okay, so those 4 4s are the only thing about this that are, a bit fake. Everything else is completely fair. So over my 281 games on this particular account, I've got 7 2s, 78 3s, 128 4s, 52 5s, and 13 6s. Those are all 100% legit. Again, I want you to just think and remember that pattern. And again, it should look very familiar. You guys should have the same thing. All right. So what we need to address, of course, is that it appears that there may be a couple folks who are entering some fraudulent statistics in the comments as part of the tournament. And I do have to address it because I want to keep this tournament nice and clean. So what I did, unfortunately, I had to spend about 2 or 3 hours to set this up. But I just want to, let folks know that, we can do a little bit of Wordle forensics and easily detect when somebody could be cheating, or at the very least, just presenting fake numbers. So let's go to that. Let's not really worry about the Squirtle prediction. Maybe I'll do that at the end. But I just don't want to forget this because I actually have to go and let me think about this. Okay, I don't have to reset my clock, but I should do that right now anyway. So let's just get out of Wordle. I can remember what I did. Now I'm going to reset my clock because I'll need that for the spreadsheet. So we now need to go back in time to the 19th. All right. Perfect. And now let me close this. And now let me bring up first things first. Let's bring this up because I think it makes sense to discuss this first. Okay. And let me close that. Okay, perfect. And I think what I need to do is make myself a little bit smaller so that everybody can see this. And now I think if I can just, let's see, make it full screen. Okay, that's not bad. I just wish it would let me, that's good enough. I think that's good enough. Yeah, perfect. And I'll just move myself here. And there we go, guys. All right. So here's the deal. Hopefully this is all legible. What I did is I recreated from our current leaderboard statistics. I ran through all of them. We've got about 51 active players. And every single one of them, without fail, had a pattern that very much resembled the one that I just showed you from my account. It probably resembles very much yours. And keep in mind that ours are based off of the ones that are on our accounts are based off of, 200-300 days worth of data. These are just based off of 19 days worth of data. And yet, even still, you can clearly see the trend. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show you all 51 of the statistics, but what I do want to do is just run through you several different types that I just sort of picked at random, but in different strata, so that you can see that they pretty much all show the same result, except for a player who is suspect. Now, these are all folks in the competition, but again, I'm not here to call anybody out by name. That I am absolutely not going to do that. I just want to make this clear that we can definitely detect this, and it might act as a little bit of a deterrent for continuing to put in some fake answers. Check this out. Now, here's one of our top human players. All right, top human player. Do you see? It very much resembles what I showed you previously from my own statistics. You've got one major peak out of 3, and then it's straddled on either side with a 2 and 4. It's sort of got that clear, sort of like somewhat normal distribution pattern, even though it's only based off of 19 days worth of data. Now let's go to a middle level human player. Fairly similar. You've got the peak again at 4. The difference, of course, is that you've got it's shifted over. Now you've got a peak at 4, you've got another peak at 3, and you've got a very small peak at 5. Now we go to one of our lower level human players, and I hate to address it like that because you guys are all awesome. And again, sometimes you don't get the same results as some of the top folks just because of the setting that you're in. You could be in hard mode. Maybe you like to challenge yourself by rotating different starting words each day. There's a number of factors, but I'm just basing it objectively off of our leaderboard. And so as you can see, again, it's not necessarily have the same straddle effect, but you can tell that there can't possibly be any cheating going on because you've got the top peak at a 5 and straddled on the other side with a 4 and then 1, 2. All right. Now, I decided to throw myself into the mix. I have no problem for me, rise to the equation, to enter the forensics as well. As you can see, this is just strictly from the tournament in January. I've got a top peak at 4, and yes, I'm straddled on either side with another very small peak of 5 and a relatively high peak at 3, and then at 2. I also thought it'd be fun to throw in a bot to show that even the bots behave just like that pattern that I have been showing you. And sure enough, the New York Times Wordle bot has its maximum peak at 3, and it's straddled on either side by 2 smaller peaks, a 2, a 4, and then also a 5. And finally, we get to our potential suspect player. And I hope you guys can clearly see that this is completely divergent from all the other graphs I have shown you. You have to admit, if you saw this from someone's phone and they said, oh, hey, check out my stats, it would be pretty close to unbelievable. Okay, it does not follow any of the trends that I've showed you so far. Okay, it has one giant peak at a 2, and then it dives off precipitously with 3s, 4s, 5s, 6. Okay, it just doesn't resemble the others. And without going into some lengthy number crunching and showing you some ridiculous equations and all that stuff, I just thought I'd keep it simple and just present this from a graphical approach. I hope it makes sense. And really, what I would just ask is that folks could just provide honest results so that we can just make this fun and not contaminate it with, fraudulent results. There's absolutely no need to. I think very highly of everybody in this tournament. I don't think, oh, you got a 6, you're dumb. That's ridiculous. If anything, you could be super smart because you narrowly escaped the jaws of defeat. So don't be afraid to share your results if you had a bad day, okay? Don't fake them. Don't cover them up, with tons of great results in a row because it's just going to cause suspicion. And again, I'm not going to call anybody out by name. Everybody is still in the leaderboard, by the way. I haven't pulled anybody out. But let's just, moving forward, be honest. Because starting in February, I would love nothing more than to do a new tournament. But if it continues to get contaminated with some bad results, I may have to suspend it. And we'll just go back to Art spinning the wheel. All right. So there you have it, guys. I hope that made sense. I wanted to just try to keep this simple. And now, of course, let's go to the leaderboard. Let's go to the leaderboard. So let me go and pop that up. I'm going to actually have to locate the file because I had to turn the clock first. So let me just, let's see here. Get rid of this. All right. Sorry for the cut in that video, guys. I was having some serious issues with Adobe for some crazy reason. So I basically just had to restart my computer. But we are good. So as promised, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. Can you believe that we are already 19 days into January? Wow. Okay, I also changed the heat map on our scores as suggested by Robdul. I will take his advice any day because he is an Excel spreadsheet master. And he just recommended reversing it so that the low colors, the low scores are darker and the high scores are lighter. If you like that, let me know. So here we go. Nothing has changed since the couple days ago when I did this updated version. We have in first place Nora Rishi, 19-day score of 55. Here's all her scores. And as you can see, we've got the 6 2s nice and dark, the 3s a little bit lighter, the 4, and then just the 1 5. Her 19-day average continues to be that absolutely amazing 2.89. Next up, perfect. And it looks like I'm not blocking even the 19-day average, which is great. Tornado the Twixter has ascended to second place. Congratulations, Tornado. That is awesome. 19-day score of 59 and an average of 3.11. John Matthews has now taken custody of third place. He's got the white ribbon with a total score of 60 and a 3.16 average. Great job. D-Bone Capone, 61. D-Bone, I just missed your result from Mucky, so if I could get that, that would be great, with a 3.21 average. And now we are starting to pick up a few more clusters. These four guys are just in a league of their own, right? New York Times Wordlebot is descending in the rankings. Can you believe it? And look at this. I mean, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that A, Nor has the January tournament locked up, and B, her gap between Wordlebot, I mean, has just really, really widened. 7 points at this point in the game, just based on her ability, is insurmountable. Okay? It's insurmountable. Yeah, I just don't see it happening. So keep up the great work, Nor. Martin Steed is in the same company as the New York Times Wordlebot, which is amazing. He dropped a place. He's no longer in fourth, but he's still just doing an amazing job. He really is. And I know that he gets plenty of assistance from his beautiful Norwegian forest cat, Abigail. I hear that they are extremely smart cats. All right. Then we move down to our purple group. This would be sixth place. We have Dr. Dan 3 and Gil Earl, both with totals of 63 with even 3.32 averages, which is absolutely spectacular. Great job, guys. Mighty Caucasian has a 65 alongside with Bobo 0616. Amazing work, guys. Mighty, just get me that result from Mucky, please. And we now have the 8th place group. I'm very happy and proud to be in it with my good friend Mata Muerte, Salad Van Baco, and Dora. We all have 3.47s, and we should all be super proud of that, guys. I mean, let's think about it this way. We're only, we're only 0.2 of a point away from Wordlebot, and we're ahead of Squirtle. So that's just amazing. All right, now we go to our ninth division, which includes Melvin Teenage 327, Squirtle, SmartyBot, George Clark, and Matt. And Edward, please do me a super big favor, unless it's an oversight on my part. Just get me SmartyBot's result for Mucky. That would be fantastic, because your program is doing really great. It's as good as Squirtle, so that is very impressive. And then finally, we have our 10th place folks, which include Michelle Lamb, Rob Dole, and Misthetic. So there you have it. Those are the first 10 places. And look at that. We still have another full 0.4 points until we get to an average score of 4.0, which is just incredible. So let's keep going, right? You guys deserve it. And you have a great chance of getting into the top 10 if you just keep up some good work. So let me call out these names. We have a pack of 70 with Damiano 54, Dan and Seb, and Ellen Sassani. Dan and Seb, please get me a result from Mucky. And Damiano, if I could get Chard, that would be great. Wendy Jarvis, Paul Allen, and Cannabis are all in the 71 pack with a 3.74. Wendy, I just need Mucky. Jessica, Claire, and Burnt are side by side with a score of 72 and a 3.79 average. Then we've got Joe and Cynthia May, 3.84 with a total of 73. Georges Thibodeau and Odie Dog with 3.89s. Great job, guys. PJ Stitcher with a 3.95, as well as Ald Fouter. So great job, Ald. I see that you're definitely making some improvement as well, though I would love to get your result from Mucky. Then we have Ascension, And I'm going to have to devise some, I guess, a new coding scheme. That 4, which is in white, was what we call a spoiled 4, where he basically got the result, but I kind of thought about it. He got the result ahead of time, and I kind of thought about it. You can't really give that a 1. So I just, I just go meet the halfway point and just put it as a 4. Okay. I know it's annoying when you hear the result and it's not your fault. It's extremely annoying. I think that happened to me once. Oh, I don't know, months ago prior to I did the Wordle with Art. It's kind of annoying. It's just like it just completely ruins it for you, and you feel very kind of like, I don't know, kind of guilty. All right, but in any case, essentially, I just need a score for Mucky. Then we've got Braden Slays 43. He is starting to run out of some runway here, and pretty soon Braden Slays, unless uh, you are going to can tell me that you're going to come right back and give me those results, I will have to take you out, buddy, because the rule is actually 3 4s and you're out. Lakia Treppert with a 4.05, so this is the first division where we're above 4.0. Johnsky and Kyle B18. Kyle definitely told me he will be away for a little bit and he'll get us back the results, so I'll still just keep him there. First name with a 78, as well as Lapnodon with a 78. Great job. Then we have Mindcrafts with a 79 in No Man's Land. Burger 4727 with an 80. Robert House with an 84. Shazan Amir with an 85. Alistair Gorman with an 87. Followed immediately by Terpsichorean Queen with an 88. And Jacob, yeah, I put you back in, my friend, because you did give me a lot of results. And guys, these 7s that poor Jacob got, again, I don't even know what to do with them, but apparently those were also some spoiled results. But I think it's safe to say, Jacob, that I don't think people are going to be too upset about that. You are the Lanterne Rouge in last place, but I would love to just give you a goal, my friend, of trying to get a below 5.0. I'm sure you could do that, okay? I'm sure you could do that, and I think that would be a little bit of a moral victory. I'm not even going to report the folks in the dog pound anymore because I think they're pretty much over and done with. But you guys, if you know who you are, you're more than welcome to join back if we do a February. So I'm just going to leave it like that, guys. I'm just going to leave it like this and just say I don't want to dwell on the whole cheating thing. It was one of the things that I kind of dreaded. And it's funny because I wanted to actually have a prize, like a physical prize, to the winner. And but before doing that, I wanted to really use January as a test to see if that would make sense. And I don't know, unless you guys can come up with a clever way to do it. To me, it's almost impossible to prevent folks from reporting bogus results. The one thing I was thinking of, it's just an extra hurdle. I don't know if it would really help, but maybe we need to have folks just sign kind of like a little Google form saying that they are, basically going to play honestly, okay? And they can kind of like initialize that. I'm not sure if that would help, but yeah, I don't know if I can justify doing a prize if some of the results have been tainted. Nevertheless, this is a tremendous amount of fun, guys. That's my point, is I don't want to, throw a wet blanket on this. It's been a lot of fun. I do enjoy going over the results with you guys. I love to see how well you guys are doing. And it has brought the best out in me. I have never, I don't think, ever played better in my life. And I think that's true for some of you guys as well. So let's not dwell on that. I'm sure that hopefully after today's video, folks who might have been fooling around with their results are going to think twice and, make them, first of all, make sure that they post the full path to their answer and, deliver honest results, okay? I mean, this is not Survivor. There's no $1 million prize at the end of the day, okay? We're just doing this just for fun. All right, guys, so there you have it. I'm pretty happy with today's result. Yeah, it's been a while since I did it because I had to restart my computer and everything. But yeah, we got it in 3. I think that was pretty decent. It seems slightly trappy. Sometimes when you get, wonderful letters, there's lots of different permutations of them. I'm okay with that. I think cleat was a completely reasonable guess. And with that in mind, guys, I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow with, can you believe it, 20 days worth of results. We're getting close to the finish line. We're obviously 2/3 of the way there. So keep up the great work, guys. And yes, I will see you tomorrow with yet another edition of Wordle with Art.